It's a sordid tale I tell. You might move the sensitive ears out of the room. It's all about a dog and how things ain't been the same since he started drinking. That dog sauntered up to the house one day and just wouldn't ever leave. He always acted shady, like he had something up his sleeves. It was a cold and dreary night. I assumed he was just passing through. I gave him a morsel of food from our table, and he weed upon my shoe. Still, I felt sorry for him and tried to pat his head. He bit the hand that fed him, muttered a few words, but I couldn't discern what he said. And so it went. And things ain't been the same since my dog started drinking. And sometimes I wish my wife wouldn't tell me what she's been thinking. She says there's got to be some changes being made around here. And that dog better not keep you out, sniffing rears and drinking beers. The dog truly was without any redeeming qualities. All that he did was obscene. He chewed on dead carcasses. His breath was rotting flesh and kerosene. He had a plethora of bad habits. He'd put on a show for strangers and all our friends. He committed many social atrocities with never an attempt to make amends. He would be called Zero, though I thought Beelzebub was more apropos. A name for such a scoundrel. We were at sea and just did not know. He was indeed atrocious. I called him. He looked at me with disgust. He murmured a few discouraging words, curled his lips, and cussed. I took him to a nearby pub, searching for a peace and a thrill. We drove to the Fire and Brimstone Saloon, and occasionally to the Babylonian Bar and Grill. I often left him outside the bar. Soon he was leaning against the wall, smoking discarded cigarette butts and bumming small change from one and all. He'd make inappropriate indiscretions with the young ladies walking in. He must have had some redeeming qualities. I just don't remember what or when. "Bring him in," someone said. "You know, dogs often look like their masters." I chuckled a bit to myself. These folks don't know disasters. Some scratched his ears, patted his head. They said he looked like me. I growled. He growled. Both shook our head and said, "This cannot be." Then he said, "All dogs are merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. And one dog in his time plays many parts." He was quoting Hamlet. And I thought, this is how more trouble starts. After a couple of hours or so, I'd let the miscreant drive. We'd head for home, but we'd barely make it alive. He said, "Brevity is the soul of wit." He committed an indiscretion and looked at me. "There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in our philosophy." He grinned to my chagrin and continued, "If it be now, 'tis not to come. If it be not to come, it will be now. If it be not now, yet it will come. The readiness is all." "Something is rotten in the state of Denmark," I said, "and I've had enough of you. Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew." Zero snarled and said, "Why should a dog, a horse, a rat have life, and thou no breath at all?" "I can't believe it," I said, with more disdain than I can recall. "You've made an unforgivable faux pas." Yeah. "That no scholarly person should hear. You've mixed your quotes from Hamlet with those from King Lear." I expressed my disappointment and all that he didn't know. He sadly only offered, "There's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so." Well, that was the end of the line for me. I no longer take zero anywhere. I've done a lot of thinking because things ain't been the same since my dog started drinking. I may stop myself. Yeah.